Hello everyone and welcome back to Brotato. I am Duke Silver. Today we're going to be checking out Explorer for this Danger 5 run. Now, Explorer is definitely a very interesting character. It's definitely kind of unique in the way that you play it. So we'll just go through the abilities here. So more trees spawn off the hop. You start with a Lumberjack shirt, which is the item that lets you knock down trees with one hit. You get plus 10% speed, plus 50% pickup range. The map is 33% larger, and there are 25% more enemies. So yeah, bigger map. You have an easier time getting around with the extra speed, but there are more enemies to fill the bigger map. And then the negatives are, well, I mean, I guess the plus 25% enemies is negative as well. But the other negatives are negative 50% materials dropped from enemies. So like it kind of disincentivizes you from just taking on enemies, and you have to kind of find alternate ways to generate econ. Plus 10% enemy speed, so of course enemies are going to be able to get to you faster. This is actually a pretty big downside. Since there's more enemies, I mean, even with the bigger map, they're still going to find you, and they're still going to be able to swarm you pretty well. So this is this run's all about survival, basically. And also you get negative 40% damage, so that's a pretty deep hole to climb out of as far as damage goes. Like, you can still climb out of it, but it does take quite a bit of an investment. And with the negative 50% materials dropped, like, you do have to, again, you have to find alternate ways to econ to climb out of there. So yeah, this run, I think we're going to focus on just surviving. We're going to try and stack up some movement speed and just try and, I guess, like, econ and defensive stats, and just try and travel around the map, knocking down trees, basically, and see how that works. And so for that, we're going to take Stick as our weapon. And Stick is a weapon that gives you extra damage for each stick that you have, and it's a very cheap to buy item. So it's another kind of upside is when we buy sticks, we don't have to invest too many materials in them, and it's going to give us just like kind of a nice like flat base damage that we don't really have to invest too much into, and we're still going to have a little bit of stopping power for these enemies. And yeah, and we're going to go Danger 5, of course. Here we go. So you'll see like the stick provides a decent amount of damage early here. Like, we're able to pop these wave 1 enemies with just one shot, which is something. And again, our stick is going to provide a decent little base damage, just because like you get a reasonable amount just by buying sticks, and they're relatively cheap. We're going to be taking as many lemonades as we can here. Lemonades increase the amount of HP you get from these consumables that pop out of trees. So that's actually going to be a very good source of HP regen for us. And yeah, if we can, we're going to increase as much luck as possible, because luck increases the chances of crates popping out of trees for us. Not only that, but it also increases the amount of chances of health consumables popping out of enemies. So that's going to be a very good stat for us. Yeah, we get pretty lucky with our sticks. We get a lot of them early. On wave 3 here, we've already almost got a full set, and we had like a level 2 stick that we locked there. And you saw that I locked the lemonade for like a few waves, just because for waves 1 through 3, you want to be aggressively rolling to fill up your weapon slots, because you're guaranteed to see 2 weapons per shop in the first 3 waves. So it's worth it to be rolling and seeing a lot of weapons, and trying to establish your weapon build. And then once you've got your weapons established, your shops are more likely to show you weapons that have the same tags that you have. Like the stick is a primitive weapon, so we're likely to see a lot more primitive weapons than other weapons, because we've equipped our nothing but primitive weapons here. There's some luck there. Now we can buy our lemonade. Another stick. Happy to pick it up. We take one more roll there, and we add another stick. We get a crate nice and early here, so that's great. There's another crate out of our out of a tree, so 2 crates already early on in this wave is really good. You're pretty lucky to get 1 crate on these early waves, so getting 2 already is a pretty big deal. And yeah, our whole game plan here is just to wander around knocking down trees. We get a 3rd crate there, so that's fantastic. 3 items. I mean, we're not necessarily going to take all the items, but that translates to more materials as well. There's another lemonade we're absolutely going to take. Another crate right out of that tree, so Getting really paid off for the early investment in luck here. And yeah, as you can see, the sticks they really hold their own without any other enhancements. Like they're doing pretty decent damage. Our level 2 sticks are doing 22 damage, and level 1 sticks I believe are doing 16, which pretty solid for this this stage in the game, anyways. Looking at percentage damage right now. End up not taking it though. A little bit of max HP, and there's a tree. We're gonna be picking up a lot of trees, as many as we can, anyways, because that's, I mean, it's just gonna increase the amount of trees that spawn. And another thing that I'm gonna be trying to pick up is pickup range. So you saw me buy the alien tongue at the end of that shop there, which increases our pickup range by an extra 33%. And our pickup range is already by default increased by 50%. So yeah, being able to pick up these consumables from such a huge distance is actually going to be a huge benefit for us. As again, we're not going to be doing like a ton of damage or anything, so like we're gonna have to kind of dance around and knock down trees, and if we're not able to get to the consumables that they drop, then that could be a problem for us. Pick up another lemonade there, so that's 3 already. Take some max HP, take some armor. There's an ugly tooth, which I'm happy to pick up. That's going to slow everything down. Just helps us control the wave even more. It does reduce our speed a little bit, which is something you don't want to reduce your speed too much. With this kind of run, like when you're trying to survive, you want to have decent speed. Being able to get to safer areas is very important. Unless you're building into an Estes couch, but that's a legendary item, and you're not very likely to build into it. So. Unless you see it early, I think it's probably best to not like speculate on it. I have done that a few times and paid the price. So, speaking from the experience of my losses, I think it's not a great thing to speculate on too early. Taking some extra speed items there, and yeah, we've got a ton of sticks already. There's a snail that's going to reduce our speed, but it's going to also reduce everything else's speed, which is like a fine trade-off. We reduce our own speed by 3% and reduce enemy speed by 5%. Yeah, we've got decent speed, as you can see. We can stay ahead of the wave, which is the most important thing. We just want to be able to stay ahead of the swarm of enemies and try to get to the trees as they pop up. Leaving just a ton of consumables on the ground. Also the crates. You'll notice I'm not picking them up. They do come to you at the end of the wave, but also the crates do act as a consumable, so they'll recover your health as well. So if we need to pick those up when we're low on health, we can. Decent little investment in luck there. We're gonna take some alien eyes. It's gonna give us just some extra secondary damage. I mean, we're gonna be stacking health as much as possible anyways. We want defensive items. There's another lemonade that gives us 4 already, which is fantastic. It's going to go a long way to keeping us alive, and since we're using these trees as our pseudo regen. Yeah, the crates get sucked up when we have low health, just like a consumable, as you can see. Or the fruit. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. I just call them health consumables. Alright, we do take some damage here. Wave 10 proving to be a bit of a challenge, but we do manage to break free, and we find enough consumables to get ourselves back to full health there. Right, there's a big luck upgrade with level 4 level up upgrade. There's an exoskeleton. We're going to take that. It's going to be a big chunk of armor as well as some extra speed. Alright, we got our first elite wave here, and it's one of the more difficult elites, I think. But I think with the increased speed, it's pretty easy to keep ahead of the ground lasers that they throw down. When they start throwing out multiple, like this, I think this is the hardest stage of this elite fight, when they start throwing a bunch of different lasers. This one gets a little bit easier. They come faster, but there's only 3 of them, and our increased speed just allows us to kind of get out of the way of them no matter where they spawn in general, unless they spawn like very much in front of our pathing, then. But I mean, they usually don't. They usually try and spawn like mostly on top of you, so the speed allows you to get away from them pretty easily, as we saw there. Ooh, there's some wings, which I'm pretty interested in. It's a pretty decent chunk of speed. That's going to be 10% extra speed, and then there's also Lucky Charm, which is going to give us 30% or 30 more luck at the expense of some melee damage. But I mean, damage isn't really our focus, anyways. Again, like the sticks take care of the small enemies just fine. Like, we do have trouble with larger enemies, but we can mostly outrun them. Although the mummies, when they get their little speed boost after they've been chasing you for a while, they become a little bit harder to manage. And they do a lot of damage when they catch up to you, so that's just something we're gonna have to be leery of. All right, yeah, we get out of the waves with full HP, which means our survivability is keeping pace with these waves. Take a little bit of HP regen at the end there. Like, we definitely don't have very many materials to work with, so that's kind of why we need to spend it all on speed and survivability. And this is like, again, I think maybe it's just because like it's not like your typical wave. Like, it seems like maybe a little bit silly to have like a whole run where you're just running away from things and hitting trees. But I don't know. I found this oddly satisfying to do. Maybe it's because basically every other potato is all about stacking damage and being able to kill these enemies, whereas this one we just kind of have a different objective, which makes it interesting. There's that Estes couch I was talking about, but we're definitely not taking that. I think we are going to take this power generator. I mean, we've already got the speed, and it's just going to give us a decent little increase to damage here. Yeah, our damage is okay. Like, again, we take out the small enemies very well. These like medium enemies, the sort of armored small enemies, aren't too hard to take down either. Wave 14 and 15 are kind of the bullet hell waves, so I think our speed should do very well here. Although, like, once like the bullets really start flying, like as you can see, then your speed can become a detriment because you can kind of just run into a bunch of projectiles, and you can see just how many crates we're getting. That's kind of the only way we're really getting materials here. There's a minigun, which is a little bit tempting, but not tempting enough. There's another exoskeleton, which we are going to take. Again, that's going to be a chunk of a nice chunk of armor as well as movement speed. And yeah, now our movement speed actually increases our damage. Like, it's not by a ton, but it's still by something. Definitely it's not insignificant anyways. Again, this is another bullet hell wave, so we have to be very careful not to run into too many projectiles. I mean, it's inevitable we're going to run into a few, as we're just trying to cycle around the map and they're just flying everywhere. But fortunately, we're able to our consumables are able to keep up. We get another pair of wings there, which is fantastic. Another exoskeleton to give us a bunch more speed. And then we get another tree, which is great. We will absolutely take any tree offered to us, absolutely. Again, you can see our sticks, like they're doing okay. They're holding their own. They give you just like such a decent little baseline of damage. And it's like it's not enough to like to do real damage like to large enemies in general, but it's enough to keep these swarms off of us mostly. Allows us to thin the herd at least. That was another another lemonade. All right, we're almost full on sticks too. We got 3 level 3s and 2 level 4s already. Get a couple of crates in a row there. That's always nice. And yeah, this is wave 17 is you get a ton of these mummy enemies, and they can be very terrifying. This is a pretty challenging wave in general. If you don't have ways to knock down these mummies like pretty quickly, as we don't, then you can see that they gain a lot of speed as they're chasing you if you can't take them down. So fortunately, we have a ton of movement speed. Otherwise, they'd be able to catch me relatively easily. But fortunately for us, our speed is just too much for them there. Just continue taking defensive stats, of course. All right, another elite wave here. This is the one that lays a bunch of eggs, and on wave 18, this becomes like a pretty challenging wave with an elite added on. I mean, the charging enemies already like can deal a lot of damage, as they can, like, having multiple enemies charging at you all at once. It can be hard to time your dodges. But we managed to get them all kind of wrangled up into one big swarm, so that we can see the dodges or the charges coming out a lot better. And fortunately, we're able to just keep away and outlast the elite there. There's a couple more sticks we are gonna take. All right, wave 19, the penultimate wave here. We're up to 4 trees now, so we should be spawning just an absolute ton of trees. And yeah, you can see, and we've already got a few crates already. Yeah, the amount of crates that we've gotten in this run is definitely way higher than I think on any other run that I've done. I'm sure like there's builds that can just like generate crates like crazy, but I think Explorer is probably the class or the potato that does it the best. And there we go, we outlive everyone. We got 4 crates. I believe we got 7 crates in one of these waves, which was I think the most that I've ever gotten in a wave. Again, we don't have a lot of materials to work with. Here we are on wave 20. But yeah, we're trying to make the most of our econ that we have. We are on a budget, so we gotta make it all count. And I think we've done a pretty good job investing in just our defensive stats and move speed and whatnot. As you can see, our speed makes it really hard for these bosses to even get close to us. The speed allows us to kind of speed past the laser dots that are thrown on the ground here. It gets a little bit awkward when we don't see the kind of what do you want it? I'm not really sure what to call it, but I guess like the stick of projectiles that the one boss has. And now, I mean, going against the rotation is a little bit uncomfortable. So we changed directions there, and yeah, there we go. We outlast the bosses with just move speed and health consumables. Yeah, again, this is a really fun run. Just like, it's just very different, I think, and I don't know. There's something satisfying about just running around the map, knocking down trees, and just finding the safest places to stand and move to, and yeah, it's just different, and I liked it a lot. So that's why I chose this one as my upload for today. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you're enjoying Brotato, or if you've picked up Brotato because of this sort of Brotato series that I'm doing, or if you're here because of Brotato. I'd definitely love to hear from you in the comments. And yeah, please like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.